Hello, Internet. How are we this evening? Everybody having a good Monday? Hope you guys don't have a case of the Mondays. All right, Scarlett's eagerly awaiting. I guess she is decided to join the show again, apparently. Hi, Scarlett. You want to say hi to everybody? Okay. Hope everybody's having a fantastic start to their week. Got plenty to talk about. There's all sorts of stuff going on. And it's just kind of funny where we've never been closer to World War III, and they decide to everybody's sort of looking at this Russia thing, and we created ISIS, and everybody's looking at us thinking we might be involved. Let's raid P. Diddy's house. That's what we should do. Let's have a nice big distraction here. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. Anyway, hope everybody's having a good one. You know what, guys? We are back. We are so back. I don't know if you guys have really put into perspective how different the climate is in terms of leading into an election, leading into the 2024 election. Think back 4 years to where we were. The George Floyd riots hadn't even happened yet. We were in lockdown city, and people were still freaking out. The vaccines hadn't even been released yet. It's a very different place. Elon owns Twitter. Back then, if you said anything like I don't know, the Hunter Biden laptop is real. If you said that, you'd get kicked off Twitter. If you tried to share it, if you tried to DM it to people, they would kick you off Twitter. Think about how different things are now. We can talk about pretty much anything that we want, and they're trying to shut down the hate speech. If you guys watch the 60 Minutes stuff that came out last night, they are trying really hard to talk about misinformation and disinformation. It's not working. We're still talking. And the American treasure himself, Alex Jones. Alex Jones is free to speak again. Alex Unleashed. And he seems to have, he's talking about stuff again. He's talking about stuff that he didn't used to talk about so much in the last couple of years. Seemed like they had sort of a muzzle on him. Alex has been unleashed lately. It is a brave new world, my friends. I don't want to make a reference to that book because it's not that. It's not what I'm talking about. Well, it kind of is actually. Elon's putting chips in people's brains. AI is here. Yeah, it is a brave new world. Things are different. We are allowed to talk. We are allowed to distribute information amongst one another. It's glorious, folks. I don't know if you guys have really thought about it and really embraced it and celebrated it. It gives me hope, people. It gives me hope. But I don't know if you guys noticed on Twitter, the Diddler is trending. The P. Diddler. And it's a funny name. I always kind of wondered why he didn't just leave it with Pup Daddy. Was he trying to do a Prince thing, like the artist formerly known as Prince? Prince did that, I believe, because of some sort of copyright thing and record label crap. I don't know why P. Diddy did it. It only kind of made him look like a pedo. P. Diddy the pedo. I don't know. That's sort of what it seems like to me. But if you guys are here, I'd love to hear you in the chat. Give that like button a tap. Leave a comment. All that stuff helps the algorithm. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get right into it. We're going to start off with the P. Diddy stuff just because that's what's sort of taking the headlines, even though it sort of seems like a distraction to me. But let me check here really quick, make sure I got stuff lined up correctly. All right, yeah, let's go over to Colin Rugg. Let's just talk about what's going on. So the Department of Homeland Security decided to raid the P. Diddler's house today. Breaking rapper Diddy's. Oh, did he take the P out of it? Did he take the P out of the Diddy? I thought it was still P. Diddy. I'm kind of a dork. I've never really been into that scene, so I'm not sure. I guess it's just Diddy now. Not that we owe him any sort of respect. Rapper Diddy's Los Angeles home has been raided by Homeland Security in connection to a federal sex trafficking investigation. Wouldn't that be FBI though? That's why it's weird. Why the Department of Homeland Security? Is it because it's because it's international? I don't know. This seems weird. I thought it would be the FBI. Anyway, according to investigators, Diddy's Miami home was also raided. Okay. So they raided both his places. I didn't even know that. multiple women have come forward accusing Diddy of beatings, sexual assault, and forced drugging. And that is in this. I covered this about a month ago. There's a lawsuit that came out against him, and they are alleging all sorts of horrible things like that. Even saying things that, like, everybody around him was forced to wear a fanny pack wherever they went. They would have any drug that you could possibly imagine, like everybody, including like servants and stuff. Servants, butlers, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, they apparently had fanny packs full of drugs. Anyway, accuser Joy Dickerson says when she was 19, she was intentionally drugged by Diddy after a date. He then took her home and allegedly raped her. Diddy filmed the assault and showed his friends. Dickerson went into depression and later dropped out of college. Another lawsuit filed by a man accuses Diddy of unsolicited groping and sexual touching. Not surprising. Not surprising at all once you sort of see Diddy's behavior. You know what? There's a video that I should have pulled up that I don't have queued up that I'm not going to be able to play, but I'll just describe it for you guys later. Yep, Diddy the Diddler. It's in this lawsuit, they allege that P. Diddy had his entire house wired with cameras and sound, and he was doing like Epstein type stuff. He would invite high profile people over, get them in compromising positions, no pun intended, compromising situations, and he would drug them. Like people said, they woke up and they woke up in the morning. They don't remember what happened. All of a sudden they wake up and they're next to like some hooker and P. Diddy in a bed. And this is the types of things that are alleging. So it's like he's doing it's like Epstein and Cosby all in one. So that's the word around the campfire. All right, we'll keep going here. Let me check in with the chat. Eric, nice to see you. Cameron P. Diddler, you got it. He is the Diddler. You guys over on Rumble, let me know if you're there. I'd love to hear you in the chat. You guys, how it makes me feel better about my self-esteem when you guys are in the chat. So just come on, join in. If you guys are watching on X, YouTube, Rumble, love to hear from you. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, so let's go over to Roz alerts. And according to Mr. Roz himself, breaking, Sean Diddy Combs has fled the United States on his Gulfstream private jet. This seems bizarre to me. Like, you're going to raid both his houses, so you put some thought into this, obviously. Pretty sure you're aware that he's got a plane, and I don't know if somebody tipped him off that he's going to get raided, but wouldn't it have been a good idea to maybe go to where his hangar is, where the plane hangar is? Maybe stop him from flying away. He has a plane. Okay. American rapper Diddy. I guess it is Diddy. I guess there's no more P in the Diddy. I think there is a little P in the Diddy, if you know what I mean. American rapper Diddy has reportedly left the United States on his private jet, a Gulfstream G550 N161969 /SIS69. I guess that's the serial number of the plane. I don't know. I'm not an airplane guy. Which took off earlier today from the Van Nuys Airport near Los Angeles shortly before the raid on his home. The private jet has been tracked, so he clearly got tipped off. The private jet has been tracked to the Caribbean islands for raids on Diddy's residence in Los Angeles. The jet has been tracked to the Caribbean islands after raids on Diddy's residences in Los Angeles and Miami in relation to a sex trafficking investigation. Flight tracking data indicates that the jet appeared to land on the Antigua in the Caribbean. It is currently unknown whether Diddy is actually on the plane or not. Oh, is it a big bait and switch? It's a big false flag here, or I guess it would be a false flag. All right, let's go back to the Colin Rogue thing and just watch this video of the raid on his. I don't know if this is LA home. So watch this quick 2-minute video. This is just Fox 11, LA.
Here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene.
Jed++, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up the street where Tony is right now and to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats, and law enforcement on the other side of those bushes basically is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home in particular is registered not only to Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters.
They are heavily armed.
Hey, she called him P. Diddy. She left the P in the Diddy.
And they've been very tactful, would probably be the best word to use.
Tactful? Is it tactful or is it tactful? I'm just saying.
As they made entry into this home
it's tactful.
afternoon, we actually watched them as they made their way through one of these side gates. And as soon as they got inside the home, one of the first things they did was made their way into this garage that you see is open right there. Now, they did take a couple people into custody. We witnessed that. Now, are they under arrest? Are they just being asked about what they know? That I can't answer, but I can tell you there's 3 people right there that were taken into custody, were inside that home at the time of the raid.
We did see a bunch of investigators going in, making the raid in there and clearing that as well. So they're going to do a thorough search as they conduct this raid. And so far, Stu, from what I understand and from Haley on the ground there, they have not seen, and we have not seen from our vantage point, any sign of Sean Combs, the 54-year-old who is believed to be the property owner of this.
Oh, this is out in Miami, I guess. It's from TMZ.
Guilty by association.
I almost feel like it'd be better in this situation to not have a big, giant SWAT team or whatever you want to call this, and maybe just send a couple of people and be sneaky about it. He clearly got tipped off. That's why he got on an airplane. Even though they haven't verified that he's on the airplane yet. Anyway, it feels like might have just been better off being a little more quiet about it. I don't think P. Diddy's going to start a big gunfight with you. Okay, whatever. You do you. All right, so let's go over to Don Luker. He explains what the lawsuit's all about. So let's check this one out. All right, so This is back from the end of February when the lawsuit came out, and it says, and that's when I first started talking about this. I did a whole episode on this. I'm not going to talk about this all night though. Developing in P. Diddy's. Okay, so some people leave the P in the Diddy. Some people just call him Diddy. I don't know which one it is. I don't know what the proper name for him is, but I'm just going to keep calling him P. Diddy. In P. Diddy's recent lawsuit, it is alleged believed that Puff Daddy. How are you going to call him P. Diddy in the beginning of the sentence and then call him Puff Daddy in the second part of the sentence? This is just frustrating. I'm sorry, guys, but come on. You're confusing everyone. Puff Daddy has hidden cameras all throughout his house in Jeffrey Epstein style blackmail honeypot. Sean Combs, this is all alleged in the lawsuit. Sean Combs is accused of trafficking underage women. This lawsuit also claims Diddy's girlfriend, City Girls rapper Young Miami, is complicit in the trafficking and allegedly sexually assaulted the producer with her cousin. Their photos are listed below. Oh, so he's even got a little Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh, man, the plot thickens. Diddy has allegedly recorded recordings of music executives, top athletes, politicians. In these recordings, just like Epstein, Diddy has alleged compromising sexual videos of many people taken without consent. Producer, he meant to say producer, he said produced. Producer Stevie J was listed. It is worth noting that on December 13th, 2022, Young Miami posted a tweet that is still live that says, "If I wanted you to eat my P word, Diddy wouldn't have you on your knees, ho, you eater." I'm not doing a good job of saying what she just said, but these are the pictures that he attached here. So this is Picture on the left, it says Mr. Combs with an underage female, sex worker. Okay, what's the next picture show? Oh, so this is from the actual court documents, 80 through 83. 80. Once again, Mr. Jones pushed her off. The following are images of the video of young Miami, her cousin, Miss Jones, and Mr. Combs. Mr. Jones and Mr. Combs on Thanksgiving Day, right before Mr. Combs invites Mr. Jones into the restroom and attempted to force him to take cocaine. Young Miami and her female cousin who sexually assaulted Mr. Jones on Thanksgiving Day in 2022. Trafficking and Victims Protection Act. 81. Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was transported from California to New York, Florida, and the United States Virgin Islands. During this time, Mr. Jones was forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts with the pleasure of Mr. Combs. On or about February 4th, 2023, Mr. Combs forced Mr. Jones to bring prostitutes and sex workers back to his home in Miami, Florida. Okay. We'll keep going here. Diddy the Diddler. It is certainly trending. All right, let's go over to Ian Carroll here. He does a good job explaining this. He has it's like 4 parts now, but he did a three-part segment or 3 different videos on this, and it's each one's like 7 minutes long. I highly recommend going and looking at all of them, but he breaks down stuff really well. If you guys watch the show, I play the Ian Carroll stuff a lot just because he's like my favorite person on Twitter. He does great work. He does great work, and he's got an awesome mustache. I mean, what can I say? So he says here, Diddy lawsuit exposing the Jeffrey Epstein of the music industry overview video. This goes back before most of you were born, goes all the way back to intelligence agencies, directly alleges whole houses wired with hidden cameras, hosting parties with underage girls, spiked drinks, and more. Cat Williams said everything would come out in 2024, and this sure looks like the first pin has dropped. Let me know what I should do. Let me know what I should do. More detail on the next parts. Okay, so this is like the first part. I'm only going to play one of his videos because there's 4 of them, and it would be like 30 minutes if I played all of them. But I do want to play this all the way through. It's like a 7-minute video. Let me check in the chat first. Wally World, good evening, sir. V1800, nice to see you. Tactical? No, tactful. Tactful is not tact. What did he even say? It was tactful. I think he said tactful. There's tactful, but not tactful. And yes, there's tactical. But anyway, diminutive rapper is appropriate. I can't even pronounce that word. V1800. Don't use big words with me. You know I'm not that bright. Diminutive rapper is appropriate. It seems some of the people he tried to blackmail have bigger connections. Well, I think P. Diddy's just a pawn in this whole thing. I think he's just I think Epstein was just a pawn too. Everybody thinks Epstein's like the end of the road. There's people way above him. This crap goes all the way back to like the origins of the idea of blackmail against people, inviting people places, getting them in compromising positions or compromising situations with girls or men or boys, underage girls. This goes all the way back to like the Meyer Lansky, J. Edgar Hoover stuff. I on accident, I say Herbert Hoover a lot. I've done that on other streams and I've caught myself later. J. Edgar Hoover. Meyer Lansky blackmailed J. Edgar Hoover because J. Edgar Hoover was into dudes. And that was not cool back then at all, especially if you're trying to run the FBI. So Meyer Lansky allegedly, I don't think it's even allegedly, I think it's pretty much proven now that he got blackmail on J. Edgar Hoover. And J. Edgar Hoover was like, oh, well, you got me. I should get blackmail on other people too. And they started doing this whole thing with this certain hotel. It had some sort of name, had to do with purple, I think. Can't remember. The Velvet something. Yeah, I can't remember. But they would invite people to this hotel. They would, get them drunk, bring girls, boys maybe, and they would get them in compromising positions and take pictures of them. They would do that stuff. This goes way back. All right, Eric, as described, this should be an FBI event. Yeah, that's why I was confused. Department of Homeland. Why Department of Homeland Security? Wally World, nice house. Yeah, no kidding, right? Just used his given name. Never wrong with that. Sean Puffy Combs. But see, even then, because they like people always add, it's just it rolls. Sean Combs doesn't roll off the tongue so well, but Sean Puffy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs just rolls off. It's fun. It's more fun to call him Diddy the Diddler. I'm just gonna call him Diddy. You know what? That's what I'm gonna call him from now on. Even if I'm reading something, I'm gonna change it to Diddy the Diddler. No, none of the alleged involved is a prominent politician. Okay. All right. Yeah, I haven't looked at the actual documents. I haven't looked at the actual court documents yet. So let's keep going here. Yep, let's go over to Ian Carroll. Let's watch this video. I'll probably pause it a couple times.
You just got the Jeffrey Epstein of the music and entertainment industry. The new lawsuit that just dropped against Diddy is massive, and it has photos, it has videos, it names names. And there's so much here that it's never going to fit into a single video. So I'm going to do a quick overview in this video, and then I'm going to do a couple of parts breaking down all the different aspects of what's come out so far. We're talking crime scenes. We're talking photo evidence of celebrities like Cuba Gooding Jr. We're talking record label executives. We're talking hidden cameras in every room of the house.
Uh-oh.
Getting recordings of celebrities, executives, politicians at parties with celebrities and underage girls, with drinks being spiked, with drugs. This goes all the way back to the murder of Tupac and Biggie. We're talking about the entire rap and hip hop.
I forgot about that part. They allege there's rumors that Diddy the Diddler actually put out the hit on Tupac. That's the word around the campfire.
Industry and the whole music industry at large. But to be clear, this is just opinions and speculation. These are not statements of fact. When I show sources in the background, like the court case, you should take those for just what they are. I'm not saying that all of this is necessarily real. So what's happened just now is that this man, Rodney Jones, who is a music producer that worked with Sean Combs, who is Diddy, he just filed this lawsuit. And he didn't just file it against Diddy. He filed against the executives at all of the companies associated and against the companies like Universal Music Group. His lawyers claim that he has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Diddy. And
now you guys might want to look at all those companies that he just listed and look at who the heads of those companies are. Which might be interesting to you.
His staff and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. It's illegal for lawyers to make these claims if they don't have reasonable belief that this evidence is legitimate and exists. They could get disbarred for making these claims if they're not true. And some of that evidence is present in this lawsuit, like when Diddy allegedly shot a man. And then the LAPD saw that room in the photo, the bathroom with all that blood.
And that guy, Fahim Muhammad, that was his security. That was his head of security. Now, that was also Michael Jackson's head of security. And he became Michael Jackson's head of security when he was 24 years old and fresh out of college with a business degree. Now, how did he get that job? Fresh out of college, 24 years old, and you get the head of security for the king of pop. Michael Jackson was the biggest superstar on earth at the time. How? He's got no experience even in security, as far as I could tell. And all of a sudden he becomes the head of security? Okay.
And we're on the scene for hours and no arrests were made. They went with the explanation that Diddy told his staff to give, which was it was a drive-by shooting. Diddy made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people and problems disappear. This guy. And all
that's weird. He must have connections.
of Diddy's staff were instructed to contact Mr. Muhammad if they were ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Diddy often bragged about having law enforcement under control. Although the deeper you look, the more it looks like people above him and above law enforcement had him under control. We'll go more into these cases in the detailed videos, but now the bigger picture. See, Diddy has been one of the most powerful people in the rap industry ever since the 90s when he founded Bad Boy Records. And he was only 24 when he founded it. He started his career as a non-paid intern at A&R until he was then fired in 1993 when he was 24 and founded his own label, Bad Boy Records, later that year. So how does a 24-year-old found a massive record label on his own? Well, when you dig further, you realize it wasn't on his own. It was with the help of Clive Davis, his mentor. And the further into it all you dig, you realize that Clive Davis came out as gay later on. And there's a lot of rumors that him and Diddy were in a relationship throughout this time.
Reminiscent of Eazy-E a little bit, isn't it?
This is going to come up over and over and over just by chance. Clive Davis has been running significant portions of the music industry since our parents were kids listening to music, responsible for artists like Aretha Franklin, Alicia Keys, The Grateful Dead, then later Usher, Outkast, Pink. But back
Bums me out. I grew up on The Grateful Dead. My dad was a Deadhead.
in the 60s and 70s, like Janis Joplin, Santana, Aerosmith, Pink Floyd, like, come on, read it. Jones specifically claims that they were trying to groom him to do gay stuff, which has long been the talk of the town in the rap industry by people that aren't with it. Diddy allegedly showed him a tape from a secret recording that he just happened to have of Jones's idol having gay sex with some white guy. And then Diddy apparently told Jones that he had engaged in gay sex with this redacted rapper and that redacted rapper and his idol, Stevie J. And apparently he also promised to make sure that Jones would win Producer of the Year at the Grammys if he did gay stuff on camera. Although, to be clear, he wasn't explicitly saying on camera, but Mr. Jones discovered that Diddy had hidden cameras in every room of his home. I'm going to guess that Diddy didn't learn how to wire a whole house with cameras on his own.
He didn't do that. I can promise you that. That's what I kind of do for a living.
Kanye has accused Diddy of being a Fed many times. Diddy's also been accused of ordering the hit on Tupac many times. And when Diddy was asked about this on a podcast, this was his response.
We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So
Preposterous.
we're not even going to even go there with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking.
When you start digging into allegations of the CIA, the FBI, the Mossad having tentacles in the music industry, you wind up at total rumors like this. Former CIA agent admits agency created gangster rap to fill private prisons by glamorizing criminality.
Does that fall in line with the CIA flooding black neighborhoods with crack cocaine? It's almost like they were trying to disrupt it's almost like they were trying to destroy the black community with rap music and crack cocaine and destroy the family unit. Weird.
Names like famous hip-hop lyrics of the legendary hip-hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists inside the CIA, according to this former agent. Obviously, these are just totally rumors and conspiracy theories, no truth to this whatsoever. But it leads you to people like Leor Cohen, who might be the most influential person in the last 100 years of music, because he ran Def Jam and made Jay-Z who he is, including Redman, Method Man, DMX, Ja Rule, Ludacris. But it doesn't stop with rap music. We got Bon Jovi, Mariah Carey, Shania Twain, Elvis Costello, Ashanti, Nickelback, Slipknot, Sum 41, The Killers, Slayer. But then we've also got
Slayer?
His protege, Julie Greenwald, that got elevated through this merger that he brokered and managed the Black Keys, Bruno Mars, Death Cab for Cutie, Jason Mraz, Kid Rock, Lupe Fiasco, Wiz Khalifa. That would be this Julie Greenwald. And then we've got Lucian Grange, the CEO of Universal Music Group. He's the one that is directly implicated and named in this lawsuit. It is alleged that he attended these parties with underage girls and with sex workers, and he knew that they were spiking drinks, et cetera, et cetera. But when you're talking about Diddy, you got to also talk about Justin Bieber, who was managed by Scooter Braun, along with Kanye West, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, et cetera.
We're going to talk about the Biebs in a minute.
Scooter Braun is a really big player in the modern music industry. We also got Psy, Carly Rae Morris, Martin Garrix, Kanye West, Black Eyed Peas, David Guetta, Lil Dicky. So you might not remember, but back in the 90s, Tupac and Biggie were both coming up, and they were both talking about leaving their records that we've shown the people involved in those records already and starting their own. And Tupac was starting to speak out a little bit maybe about the nature of the industry. Diddy was close in the middle of that, and there's a lot of rumors that he ordered the hit on Tupac. Diddy sort of rose to power on the power vacuum of Tupac and Biggie both leaving the scene. And he has been manipulating and running a huge portion of the industry from the inside ever since. And this court case directly alleges with lots of evidence that he has been running a sexual blackmail scheme that entire time, promoting artists that would engage in the sexual blackmail scheme and then do their bidding there, because there's not just him acting alone, and pushing out, ostracizing, blacklisting, attacking artists that wouldn't. So maybe you should go back and listen to some of Kanye's interviews and see if he sounds quite so crazy after all.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep going here. Sorry, I wanted to pull something up. I did get it pulled up in time. So, okay. Interesting, right? All right, well, we'll keep going here. Let's see. Let's go over to Chief Nerd. Okay, so remember how Ian Carroll just mentioned that Cat Williams said all this crap was going to come out in 2024? Well, let's listen to Cat Williams talk. This is from Chief Nerd. He says, did Cat Williams predict the raid on P. Diddy in January? Are more raids coming? All of these big dick deviants is all okay. He's just quoting him here. I'll just play the video because he's just quoting Cat Williams here.
It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
What the heck did he know? And he was just on Joe Rogan saying some very interesting stuff too. You guys should all go listen to that. Listen to Cat Williams talk to Joe Rogan for hours because he says some interesting stuff. What does he know?
I need to have another one of these.
Amen.
That's Shannon Sharp, huh? He's like, man, that was heavy.
I kind of get on here.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it.
What does he know? What does Cat Williams know? It's very interesting. I want to go back and watch that Joe Rogan interview again, actually. All right, let's go over to my post here, actually. So this is with all this stuff in mind, let's go back about 10 years. I believe this is from 2014. And let's look at P. Diddy interacting with Justin Bieber. This is from a documentary they did called like 48 Hours with Diddy or some crap like that. Wally World. Have ever wired up rich people's houses with secret cameras? No, I don't do that, man. No, that would cost money. Like I ain't gonna, why would I? Yeah, no. And I put a lot of surveillance cameras in people's houses and they all go to a DVR. They're all on that client's network. And I'm not on, I'm good with the hardware side of stuff. I'm not good with the software side of stuff. So I wouldn't be able to figure out how to like remote into anybody's cameras anyway. But yeah, I've put in a lot of surveillance cameras, a lot of them. And yeah, most clients don't know how to terminate Cat 6 and hook it up to a Ethernet switch and a DVR and all that crap. All right, let's keep going here. So keep all that stuff in mind, right? Now let's watch this quick 2-minute video of Diddy interacting with Justin Bieber when Justin Bieber was 15 years old.
So, as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, it's gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, go get the front shot.
Man.
Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah. When you get 16, you come down there. You gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right. 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Just look at the way he licks his lips here when he says his age. I don't know if there's anything, if this is a subconscious thing that he's doing here, but this is just creepy. The way he's got his hand on his shoulder. Just watch this next 5 seconds. Just this is creepy to me.
You get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion.
I'm gonna give you a supercar and a mansion. Just hang out with me. What is this?
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but
What did they do to this kid?
it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed the Usher.
I'll tell you guys one thing. My dream when I was 15 years old is certainly, I'm glad that dream didn't come true. I didn't have, you're not supposed to give 15-year-olds their dreams because their dreams are absurd.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours,
He had legal guardianship of Usher. You guys, why? Why did you have legal guardianship of Usher?
he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you want to do? What you want to do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go get some girls.
Man after my.
All right, tell me that wasn't creepy. Tell me that video wasn't creepy, you guys. Okay, we'll keep going. Let's see. Now, let's fast forward a couple of years, and let's look at this video of P. Diddy and Justin Bieber, and see if Bieber is acting any different to you guys. Sorry, I got way too many tabs open right now. My computer's running slow. All right, tell me if he seems like he's acting any different to P. Diddy here. Huh. Wonder why. Look how uncomfortable he is. You guys. Red flags all over the place. Let's keep going. Let's go over to Liz Crokin here. And so kind of along the same lines of what Cat Williams was saying, here's Kanye at a concert. This back in 2022, I believe. So Kanye at a concert says, Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them at my head. In 2016, Kanye West was put on a 5150 hold immediately after he went on a rant on stage at a concert exposing information he said could get him killed. During that rant, he supported Donald Trump, said Google and Facebook are lying and you and that Jay-Z has killers. Law enforcement sources told media outlets at the time that cops responded to a call for a welfare check on Kanye while he was at the end of a trainer, Harley Pasternak's home. So, okay, he was at a trainer's house and he got why would you get a welfare check when you're at somebody else's house, when you're at your trainer's house? That doesn't make any sense. In 2022, Kanye publicly exposed that Pasternak was a Canadian mind control MK Ultra intelligence agent. You guys know about MK Ultra? I've talked about it before. You guys go back and watch my MK Uncle Ted episode. He said he was wrongly diagnosed and that Pasternak and others attempted to put him on lithium and threatened him. He said he refused to take the drugs, and if he had, he would not be here today. I don't care what you think about Kanye. He was telling the truth. I exposed this years ago in my Slave Princess documentary. I'm going to have to watch that. It's all coming out, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. And she finishes with Jay-Z, go fuck yourself. So if this goes up to the Jay-Z level, I mean, we're talking a whole new ballgame. Jay-Z and Beyonce are like heavily connected to the Obamas. They are heavily connected to high-level politicians. And he's trending right now too. Jay-Z's trending right now too. And he is suspect. He is suspect as hell. So let's watch this video of Kanye on stage.
We are all great people. We are all equal. But sometimes we be playing the politics too much and forgetting who we are. Just to win. Fuck winning. Fuck looking cool. Fuck looking cool. Fuck being cool. Fuck all that, bro.
You guys said there was no video. Was that on the Justin Bieber one? All right, I'll play that after. I'll go back and play that after I finish this one.
I've been sent here to give y'all my truth, even at the risk of my own life, even at the risk of my own success, my own career. I've been sent here to give y'all the truth. Jay-Z called me, bro. You still ain't called me. Jay-Z called me. Hey, bro. Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them at my head. Just call me. Talk to me like a man.
Very interesting. All right, which you guys want to let me know in the chat? Which video did you not have video on? The second Bieber one. Perfect. All right, cool. Thank you. Yes. So, all right, I'll go back and play that one. Okay, my bad. I do this at least one for one video per episode. I suck sometimes, sorry. All right, this is the second Justin Bieber video. So remember how he was acting in the first one. Now look how he's acting with P. Diddy in the second video.
Everything's good. Selling out arenas and everything. Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and.
All right. You see how uncomfortable he is?
Whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not acting the same, is he? What did they do to Justin Bieber? What did they do to that kid? All right. So let's go over to Don Luker. And so remember how I told you guys that the head of security for P. Diddy, that they told all P. Diddy's guests that if you get in trouble when you're in LA or when you're in Miami, call this dude. Call my security dude. And he was also the head of security for Michael Jackson when he was very young. And why would P. Diddy say to call him if you get in trouble? He can make problems go away. He can make people go away. Sounds like someone connected, right? Okay, we're going to go over to Don Luker again. And Don Luker says, on September 25th, 2009, The Sun released an article stating Michael Jackson told his religious advisor, Rabbi Shmuley. You guys know who Rabbi Shmuley is? he's been going viral lately, and a lot of it is because he seems to have gotten Candace Owen canceled. That same Rabbi Shmuley. Yes, Rabbi Shmuley was an advisor to Michael Jackson. I'll start over. On September 25th, 2009, The Sun released an article stating Michael Jackson told his religious advisor, Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, whatever, Hitler was a generous orator. Jackson died on 25/2009. Now, I don't know what Michael Jackson meant by that. It sounds like Michael Jackson was, a genius orator. He's saying that Hitler was a great speaker, is what he's saying. I don't know what he meant by that. Maybe he's just saying that he had the ability to draw up, to get people excited, or he spoke well. I don't know, but I do not endorse. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying what Michael Jackson said. So he said that on September 25th, 2009. He died on June 25th, 2009. On July 25th, 2010, the New York Post released an article stating that Michael Jackson had a Nazi collection and designed his outfits based on Nazis. New York Post, what the late king of pop craved was Nazi documentaries, as well as Judy Garland TV specials and dramas depicting troubled boys in dysfunctional families. According to the New York Post, as for the Hitler flicks, which included such gems as Nazis of Pure Blood, Oasis of Zombies, and Hitler's Children, Shearer assumed that the singer just loved the military garb and lockstep marching. The main reason you can't find old articles of Michael Jackson on the internet is because they named him Wacko Jacko. This is very important. Google SEO, search engine optimization. Each keyword matters. If his name isn't listed in the article, you can't find him. Look at how they dehumanized and slandered him. Jackson was an example of the project that they began using on the masses. These articles aren't a fraction of what the media wrote about Jackson. The New York Post removed this article, but I have recovered it for the first time. See for yourself below. They do it all the time to prevent you from finding information. It gives you a false perception of the internet. So a lot of people are going back and looking at the Michael Jackson stuff and saying that he wasn't what they made him out to be and all this stuff. So these are some of the articles. It says Jacko Hitler was a genius. Fade to Blacko. Fake Jacko food the world. Wacko Jacko Backo. Wacko Jacko heart attack. Jacko's nose drops off. These are all, that's from the Inquirer. Remember the Inquirer? Man. So, dog's making all sorts of weird noises. So that's the press really went hard after Michael Jackson. And this was after he died. This was 2010 after he died. So they were smearing him after he died. All right, let's keep going here. And all right, so now I'm going to play, this is one of his later songs that he wrote, but we're going to play it without the audio. And let's listen to what Michael Jackson had to say in this. This is the song, They Don't Really Care About Us. And the lyrics, I do not endorse, but he said some very specific things in here. Damn it, I did it again, didn't I, guys? All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to start it over again. I was just sitting there. My bad. All right, I'll start it over. Here we go.
Skinhead, deadhead, everybody gone bad. Situation, aggravation, everybody allegation. In the suit, on the news, everybody dog food. Bang, bang, shock dead, everybody's gone bad. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. beat me, hate me, you can never break me. Will me, thrill me, you can never kill me. Chew me, sue me, everybody do me. Kick me, crack me, don't jump like a white me. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. Tell me what has become of my life. I have a wife and 2 children who love me. I am the victim of police brutality. No, I'm tired of being the victim of hate. You're ripping me of my pride, for God's sake. Trepidation, speculation, everybody, allegation in the suit on the new. Everybody, dog food, black man, blackmail, throw the brother in jail. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. Tell me what has become of my rights. Am I invisible cause you know me? Your proclamation promised me free liberty. No, I'm tired of being the victim of shame. You're throwing me in a class with a bad name. I can't believe this is the land from which I came. You know I really do hate to see it. The government don't wanna see. But if Roosevelt was living, he wouldn't let this be. No.
Man. So some pretty interesting lyrics there. A lot of people are saying that it was right there in front of us the whole time he was talking about it. He was trying to tell us. But I mean, aside from all that stuff, there will never be another Michael Jackson. I mean, without even having music, his voice was incredible. Yeah. All right, we'll keep going here. Yeah, I apologize, guys. I played like 30 seconds of that without actually having it playing. So, all righty. Well, that's pretty much the recap of the Bieber story. But that's sort of my segue into Rabbi Shmuley, though, because we got to talk about Rabbi Shmuley. With this dude has to be a psyop. Everything he does is so over the top and insane. He looks ridiculous. He looks like a psychopath when he does this stuff. And again, Rabbi Shmuley was Michael Jackson's advisor or whatever. What did Dom call him? His religious advisor. So, all right, that's it for the P. Diddy stuff. Now let's talk about Rabbi Shmuley, shall we? So, if you guys haven't seen, this is who Rabbi Shmuley is. We'll go to Rabbi Shmuley's videos himself. This is straight from him. This is his stuff. This is his Twitter account that he's putting these up. These aren't edited. This is all him. This is just stuff that he puts up himself. So this is him, like, he's trying to do a caricature of the stereotypical Jew and go over the top about it. And Candace Owens went through and she was liking a bunch of posts that were refuting things that Rabbi Shmuley said, because Rabbi Shmuley's been trying to smear the crap out of her, get her fired from the Daily Wire, which looks like he finally succeeded. And Candace Owens apparently clicked on she liked a tweet that said something about Rabbi Shmuley drinking Christian blood. And now he's trying to say that like Candace was actually saying that. They conflate everything. But so he decided to dress up. He's got filth painted on his head. This cup he has in his hand, he's saying is pretend Christian blood. He's wearing a suit of money. He's got the big, fake nose on. He's going super over the top. But it's like, this isn't, I'll let you guys judge. This is just, to me, this isn't helping anybody. Like, every Jew that I know thinks this guy is insane, thinks he's out of his mind. You're not helping anything doing this stuff.
Hi, I'm a Candace Owens Jew. I love Israel and I hate America. Dual loyalty. I'm filth, but I love cash. I love money. It's all about the Benjamins. Money, money, money. But
I should also mention this man has a company where they sell dildos and stuff like that. It's called Kosher Sex, and he runs the company with his daughter. Just thought I'd mention that.
More than anything else, what I really want, what my giant nose needs just to grow more warts is Christian blood. Let me see if I can find any. Let me see. Are you guys, you Jewish children? This is not my day. This sucks. You wearing Israeli flag? Esther, are you wearing an Israeli flag?
Look how uncomfortable he's making these kids. Like, this isn't okay to me. What is he doing?
What's this big nose that Zadie has? Is that a big, giant Jewish schnoz? Are you a panda? Are you a Christian panda? So I can drink some of this? Yeah, okay, good. Happy Purim, everybody. Okay.
So this is Rabbi Shmuley. All right, we'll keep going. This is this is his daughter, Chana Botek. I don't know how you say the last name. Daughter of Rabbi Shmuley Botek. Kosher sex shop is in the center of Tel Aviv in 2018. Behind what seems to be a nice clothing shop, the rabbi's daughter sells sex toys and books about sexuality. And apparently, Rabbi Shmuley and his daughter have a podcast that they talk about sex and stuff. Just okay. It's very, very weird to me. Very, very weird to me. And here's another video of Rabbi Shmuley that Alex Jones reposted it, and he says, you have clearly had a nervous breakdown. You go around starting fights with people and then flip out when they respond. For the sake of your family, seek help, is what he says. So this is the video. He's just so creepy.
Hi, everybody. Purim is a day of celebration. We feel bad for Candace Owens that she lost her job. So I figure with her image of what Jews are supposed to look like, why not at least validate her? I am dressed up as a Candace Owens Jew. Now, this is not a Christian child, it's a Jewish child. But if it would be, I got my Christian blood. Spicy, delicious. I got my Jewish nose. I have filth, because Jews are all filth. And more than anything else, what does Zadie have? Money! Yeah, we Jews are all about money!
All about the Benjamins.
Wait, all about the Benjamins. Wait, I'm getting a little bit thirsty. Where's the matzah? I don't want to finish the whole thing and not mix it into the matzah. So can someone just bring me? She did say that I was getting, she liked that tweet that I'm getting drunk on Christian blood. So let's do it right. Oh, so good. So good. Purim is a day that our enemies fall, my brothers and sisters. This is the way they want us to look. I'll do it for one night. I'll indulge them. If it floats their boat, why not? My horn. They're covered by my yarmulke.
Is that his daughter recording the video? So I get it. Okay, he's trying to do the caricature and make fun of the whole thing, but he's also celebrating getting her canceled. So, cancel culture, great, fantastic. But this is, I don't know. I don't see how this helps his cause at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see how that helps his cause at all. And we'll keep going through Rabbi Shmuley. I'll read one of his posts here. So, in the aftermath of Hamas October 7th terrorist attacks, Owens has emerged as an outspoken critic of Israel, most recently liking a post on X about a centuries-old conspiracy theory that the rabbis drink the blood of Christians, Mediaite earlier reported. Again, I've liked posts that I haven't read all the way through too. I just have clicked stuff, but in a post on X last week, celebrity Rabbi Shmuley Botek accused Owens of being an arch anti-Semite who is inciting her Jew-hating followers to threaten to murder Jews and especially me. Now, I will say, yeah, there's plenty of people out there that go super over the top, and that's why I hate people, instead of saying like the Israelis or Mossad, they say the Jews. Like it immediately turns people off to want to listen to any actual point that you might be making. So, and then, there are people that just straight hate the Jews and blame the Jews for everything. And it sucks because it makes it so you can't criticize. Well, you can, you'll get called an anti-Semite if you criticize what Israel is doing in any regard. And if you criticize anything Zionists do, you'll be called an anti-Semite. It's a very touchy subject, we'll just say. Botek has been a target on a tirade from Owens in which she claimed there is a small ring of people in Hollywood using the fact that they are Jewish to shield themselves from any criticism. Okay, keep going here. This is just another video of Rabbi Shmuley. This is the last one I'll play. I have a couple more, but yeah, I think you guys get the picture. Well, I'll play one more. It's just this dude is so over the top and creepy, and he's obsessed with Candace Owens. Every post he makes seems to be about Candace Owens and getting her canceled until the Daily Wire finally fired her, and then all of his posts since then have just been about bragging about it, essentially.
Irish dancing. Pacific dancing. Michael Jackson dancing. Shmuley dancing.
I guess this is RFK's boy too. I don't know what their relationship is, but RFK seems to be friends with them. So yeah, I have one more video that I have of him. It's just another video of him just acting really weird. So all right, that's pretty much a wrap on the P. Diddy and Michael Jackson and all that stuff. So yeah, okay, I hope you guys brought your tinfoil tonight. Weird, but yes, still nothing wrong with business podcast with his daughter, his political stuff. There's nothing wrong with doing a sex podcast with your daughter. I would kind of disagree with that. I think that's pretty freaking weird. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a business podcast, but to each his own, I guess. I don't know. He tries to have this moral superiority thing going too, but he sells dildos. I don't know. It's, I guess, whatever floats your boat. So we'll keep going here. Talk about the Trump stuff now. So Trump took True Social public and became a very, very rich man today. And we'll go over to Colin Rugg. So Colin Rugg says, just in, Donald Trump's net worth jumps to $6.5 billion, making today Trump's single greatest day ever for his wealth. And at this very moment, Trump's $175 million bond in the New York fraud case makes up just 2.7% of his net worth. So they dropped the bond down from 400 and whatever million it was down to 175 million. It gave him 10 days to pay it. The sudden jump in Trump's net worth is thanks to Trump's media merger with Digital World Acquisition Corp. DWAC shares jumped 35% after the 29-month-long merger process went through. Trump has a 58% stake in the company that will soon be trading under the DJT ticker symbol. The former president will not be able to cash in on any of his shares for about 6 months. His net worth will likely be volatile going forward. Yeah, that's to say the least. All right, we'll keep going here. Let's go to Liz Churchill. So this is the day before, and they were so excited about Trump going broke. So Liz Churchill says, President Trump's net worth is now $6.5 billion. Today is the greatest day ever for his wealth. Below is Joy Reid 2 days ago complaining that Trump wouldn't pay his fraudulent New York Soros charge. How does it feel now, Joy? That's what she says.
General Letitia James can move in.
Sorry, folks.
We begin tonight with some cold, hard facts. Donald John Trump is broke and begging for money. He owes New York State roughly $454 million, and the deadline to put up a bond if he wants to appeal or a deposit on the debt is Monday. If he fails to do so, New York Attorney General Letitia James can move in on Trump's bank accounts or real estate. His lawyers, paid for by the RNC, are telling the court that he doesn't have the money, which leads us to another fact. Trump has for decades lied about his wealth and about the valuation of his properties. He also has a history of not paying back his loans, and so most self-respecting financial institutions and wealthy individuals don't want to take a chance on him. Too risky. We begin tonight.
She's so full of shit. All right, we'll keep going. I'm not even going to comment on Joy Reid. She's not worth it. It's just everything they say is so out of context, fraudulent, lies. It's okay. Let's go over to Citizen Free Press here. They say Harris Faulkner, disgusted by Letitia James. The very power-hungry far-left district attorney Letitia James was promising to seize his assets. She literally said she wants to get Trump. Remember, she campaigned on what's happening right now. That's true. Talking about
the big idea here was that you had until midnight, the deadline, for him to begin to pay the money. And if he couldn't come up with the 454, 464 in some estimations, plus growing interest by the day, if he couldn't come up with that in assets and cash, then the very power-hungry, far-left district attorney Letitia James was promising to seize his assets. And his name's on quite a few things here, particularly on the beautiful west side of New York City facing the Hudson River. Would love to take down the Trump gold letters off one of those big buildings. And she literally said she wants to get Trump. Remember, she campaigned on what's happening right now. About an hour or so ago, the former president called it a witch hunt and a hoax. And now, and maybe what experts would have called not surprising, I haven't heard anybody predict this sort of thing yet, but in an unexpected, we'll call it that, move by this judge, the amount has been reduced to $175 million. And then he can appeal his decision.
all right, let's keep going here. This is an article I want to read. So the Rolling Stone, this is very similar to Time Magazine's article about how they fortified the 2020 election, and it's like a confession letter. It's really long. I think you guys should use the Wayback Machine if you want to go try to find it, because the article has been edited. And they talk about how they had secret meetings behind the scenes about how to suppress misinformation and disinformation, all sorts of stuff. Go read the article. That was actually one of the first videos I ever tried to make. I just read the whole article. I never even posted it, but yeah, that was 4 years ago when I first wanted to start doing all this stuff, and I didn't end up doing it until about a year ago. But yeah, that was one of the first ones that I did. So, all right, so let's go to this Rolling Stone article. It says, exclusive: for years, Trump and other Republicans have been working to steal the 2024 election. Isn't it? It's perfectly okay for them to say he's trying to steal the 2024 election. If anybody says anything about the 2020 election being stolen, they're called a conspiracy theorist, an insurrectionist, all sorts of crazy stuff. It's always okay for them to do exactly what they say is horrible that you're doing. This is an inside look at how Team Biden and Democratic lawyers have built a superstructure to fight back on all fronts. All right, let's read the article here. So, okay, Biden is building a superstructure to stop Trump from stealing the election. That's one way to say it, or it's okay. This is going to trigger me. I haven't read this article yet, but it's going to trigger me. I know it. Trump and his MAGA allies have been working for years to try to pre-rig the 2024 election. Here's how team building is planning to fight them. I guarantee you They're going to say misinformation and disinformation a million times in this article. For years, Donald Trump has made it abundantly clear that if he doesn't win the 2024 presidential election, he is willing to cheat and steal it. Really? Right off the bat, they're just straight up lying. When did Trump say he's willing to cheat and steal it? For years, Donald Trump has made it abundantly clear that if he doesn't win the 2024 presidential election, he is willing to cheat and steal it. Really? When did he say that? Is this an opinion piece? It doesn't even say opinion. It just says that it's an exclusive. This is insane. Okay. Since President Joe Biden's inaugural address, according to the sources with intimate knowledge of the situation, Biden and his inner circle have been drawing up meticulous plans and creating a large legal network focused on warmongering, a close election finish in which the former president and Republican Party launch a scorched earth, big lie fueled crusade. Okay, here it is. Long before Trump began leading in the battleground state polling, and years before he was declared 2024 candidate, the ex-president and many of his influential allies were already busy plotting ways to tilt the election in his favor. These year-long efforts, you mean tilt the election in his favor? You mean like intelligence agencies colluding with Twitter to tell them straight up, take information down. They suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story. They suppressed the Tara Reade story. Those two stories alone would have swung the 2020 election. Isn't that kind of tilting it in your favor? Isn't that election interference? Okay. These years-long efforts, conducted both secretly and out in the open, have already yielded tangible results for Trump and the conservative election denier movement. These wide-ranging operations have alarmed the Democratic Party elite, who aren't just worried about Biden's sagging poll numbers. Numerous Democrat lawmakers, operatives, Biden's campaign advisors, and administration officials tell Rolling Stone that if the president doesn't ultimately beat Trump this November, the election will be exceedingly close. Over the last year, Team Biden has been conducting war games, crafting complex legal strategies, and devoting extensive resources to prepare for, as one former senior Biden administration official puts it, all hell breaks loose scenarios. The preparations include planning for a contingency with Biden's margin of victory so razor thin that Trump and the GOP launch a tidal wave of legal challenges and political maneuvers to rerun his 2020 election strategy, declare victory anyways, and try to will it into existence. President Biden has been worried for a while now that Donald Trump has been going to try to steal the election. It's very close on election day. If it's very close on election day, a source familiar with Biden's thinking, if that ends up being the case, we are also expecting the Republican Party to go into overdrive to help him steal it. We are continuing to build the infrastructure to ensure that doesn't happen. Again, if President Biden and Trump's MAGA Republicans try to confuse everyone and sow chaos. Okay, so what they haven't said anything yet. They just tried to say Trump bad, scary, it might be close, and they're going to say things like they haven't said anything yet, but except they're building an infrastructure. Okay, what's that infrastructure going to look like? Very curious. After the 2020 race, we called for Biden, Trump, and much of the GOP. After the 2020 race was called, Trump and much of the GOP embarked on a sprawling campaign, a blitz of lawsuits, rabid conspiracy theories, attempts to block certification, and slates of fake electors to nullify Biden's clear win. This culminated in January 6th attack on the Capitol, which Trump instigated and led to years of criminal investigations and various indictments, as well as the mainstreaming of MAGA election denial movement, which Trump instigated. They're just straight up telling lies in this article. Wouldn't he have gotten impeached wouldn't the impeachment have gone through if he instigated it? The efforts to overturn the election were unsuccessful, largely because Biden had won too many battleground states. Unlike when the 2000 presidential race came down to a single state of Florida, and the Republican Party was able to successfully halt the recount of an extremely close vote. As they're saying, Gore should have won that one. Remember the hanging chads? This time around, the race could be much closer, and if Trump's effort appears significantly more organized. He also has more of the party's elite behind him, and his anti-democratic election lies than he had during the last presidential election. If the 2024 election margins end up being wafer thin, the level of institutional backing could, of course, rebound to Trump's benefit. Okay, what is this infrastructure you're talking about? What are you guys actually going to do? Like, they just keep talking about Trump bad. He says things. That's it. That's all you've said so far. Top officials in both Trump and Biden camps are expecting an uncomfortably tight election outcome in November. Sources in both campaigns have told Rolling Stone on numerous occasions over the last year. Advisors to both candidates say they expect the race will turn on a margin, if just tens of thousands of votes in a handful of key battleground states, if not a single state. One Trump advisor says they had privately told ex-president and presumptive 2024 GOP nominee to anticipate the electoral knife fight to the death. Isn't that a little worse, saying bloodbath? Okay. On and likely the wake of election day. Okay, you guys still haven't said anything. What is Biden doing? What are you guys doing? You guys are totally burying the lead here. Team Biden's in-house counsel and networks of outside lawyers are currently preparing legal strategies for scenarios involving recounts that would make, in the word of one Biden official, make Florida in 2000 look like child's play. Okay, they're trying to interfere with any potential recounts. That's what I got out of that. Sources in and around the presidential's legal and political operations say that Biden campaign's current warmongering is informed by questions aides asked themselves in the wake of the 2020 election. What if there's a rematch in 4 years with Donald Trump? What do we do if Joe Biden wins and Trump tries to steal the election again? Biden world spent a lot of time pondering such a scenario even before the 2020 election. Yeah, no kidding. In the months leading up to November 2020, Trump offered repeated public signals that he would try to delegitimize any outcome in which he lost the election. As the threats mounted, Biden campaign brass began preemptively working through different nightmare scenarios. Again, you guys haven't said anything. That prep work accelerated in the final weeks of the campaign as an armada of lawyers numbering in the hundreds sketched out various unconventional scenarios in which the then president tried to cling to power in the face of defeat, according to the current and former senior Biden campaign officials. Democrat aides walked through a range of authoritarian possibilities, including one scenario in which Trump called out the National Guard either as a show of force or in an attempt to enforce his fictitious victory, the sources say. Another scenario involved game plans for how to handle Trump refusing to leave the White House on the day of Biden's inauguration, even if the swearing in had already concluded. So you guys created conspiracy theories and talked about it? Like those are actual conspiracy theories. What if Trump tries to not leave office? What if he tries to mobilize the National Guard? You still haven't said anything. You still haven't said anything. Biden HQ and the lawyers were essentially preparing for every insane scenario that anyone could think of. Yeah, conspiracy theories. That's what you're doing. You're conspiracy theorizing. So the campaign would be stuck in neutral if the worst actually transpired, says one attorney familiar with the extensive 2020 warmongering. Even then, I'm not sure everybody was predicting just how crazy it would become and what Trump would actually do. Really? Is that why the FBI was in the crowd? Is that why they denied the National Guard? Okay. Any attempt by Trump to try and undermine the 2024 election would likely look different than 2020. If only because he lacks the legal authority to access federal resources he enjoyed as president. Still, Team Biden has been planning for years, sketching out what Trump could do as the leader of the GOP, and has partnered with Democrat National Committee and a vast network of liberal attorneys and legal groups to conduct similar doomsday-style warmongering. Okay, still haven't said much. Once involved with these efforts refers to it as a superstructure, of various legal teams and liberal operatives who are going to fight Team Trump and election deniers on all fronts and let them have it from all sides if MAGA wants to tear down our democracy. According to two Biden campaign officials, the two other sources with knowledge on the operation, draft pleadings and legal motions for all kinds of possible Trump-related emergencies are already written and at the ready. In critical swing states such as Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania, Team Biden is regularly in contact with an array of outside counsels and law firms that have retained to actively monitor what is happening on the ground, including with regards to activism of Election Day Trump rallies. Biden World's closely held list of nightmare scenarios in which the Democratic legal teams would have to battle it out tooth and nail with Republican counterparts before, during, and after Election Day on 2024 has grown comically long, says one source with direct knowledge of the matter. They never name their sources anymore, ever. It's always just sources familiar with the matter. They never name sources anymore. It's okay. Biden campaign officials and other Democrats familiar with the topic tell Rolling Stone that a key concern for which step-by-step game planning has already begun and is how to robustly respond if Trump and other leading Republicans try to engineer another January 6th style power grab. Okay. I mean, jeez. Okay, you got a bunch of lawyers and you guys are creating scenarios and pre-planning, like your super structure. This is a giant nothing burger. I'm wasting your guys' time with this article. There's only 3 paragraphs left. Maybe they will actually say something in these paragraphs. In these internal war games, among Biden world and Democrat attorneys in key states, this kind of January 6th sequel has included scripts in which the White House Republicans or state officials refuse to certify a Biden victory, and act that prominent GOP politicians include on Capitol Hill have publicly dangled as an option. A spokesperson for the Democratic National Committee tells Rolling Stone that the National Party is also setting aside tens of millions of dollars in a robust voter protection program to safeguard the rights of the voters to make their voices heard against relentless attacks from Donald Trump and the GOP. That sounds dubious. They're putting aside taxpayer money in a robust voter protection program to safeguard the rights of voters? Okay. Meanwhile, the Trump campaign and the RNC have invested in an army of conspiratorial election-denying legal staff to undermine our elections and make it harder for American ballots to be counted, says the DNC spokesperson. We won't let Republicans get away with these baseless attacks on our democracy, and we will continue to use every tool at our disposal to strengthen our democracy as MAGA extremists try to tear it down. All right. Oh, that's not it. I'm sorry. Of course, if much of the current national and swing state polling holds, Trump could defeat his successor outright in a 2024 rematch. However, that is almost irrelevant to Trump and his MAGA brain trust goals of cementing their heads I win, tails you lose philosophy of election administration. Trump, after all, has continued to falsely claim that the 2016 presidential race was somehow rigged in the Democrat nominee Hillary Clinton's favor, and that was the election he won. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that too. They just didn't cheat enough. That's okay. That article was a giant nothing burger. I'm sorry, you guys. I should have read that beforehand because I thought they were going to say something of substance in here. So I can't even pronounce the name of this person. It was written by Asawin Susang and Adam Ronsley. All right, that article was crap. Sorry, that was annoying. And sorry about that, folks. That was a crappy article. Okay, go back to P. Diddy really quick. Remember, let's see what P. Diddy had to say about Donald Trump, and yeah, what do you think should happen to Donald Trump?
If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war. White men like Trump need to be banished.
Huh? I'm sorry, what? What do you mean by banished? What do you mean white men like Trump? Huh? What do you mean? What did you say there, P. Diddy the Diddler?
Way of thinking, it's real dangerous. When you look at it, we don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want about Biden. I can't say I love the pick either, but hey, we got to get him in office, and then we got to hold him accountable.
You got to hold him accountable? Man, Charlemagne is the worst. Charlemagne sucks. He never pushes back on any of his guests. Like, remember when that's the podcast that Joe Biden was on when he said, if you ain't black, or if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And Charlemagne didn't say a word. Okay. All right. That was a frustrating little segment. All right. Enough of that. Let's go to what this episode is actually supposed to be about. Check in with the chat here. Let's see. V1800 election denier. Trump never said any such thing. Yep, I agree. They should be sued for slander. It's not election interference for lefties, just smart thinking. They're really surprised when people disagree with their lies and schemes. Yeah, I know. They're doing everything they accuse Trump of, except they really do it. Yes, exactly. There's someone else that's something else comes to mind when you say that. Dems supposedly admit they're hiring lawyers now to shut down the third-party candidates. This is known as projection. You have to cut off your pinky in an apology. I don't know what that means. All right, let's keep going here. We got to talk about Russia. So this is probably the most important part of this episode, and I saved it for last, but yeah, we got a lot to get through too. So at the beginning of the show, I said, the P. Diddy stuff, and I like raiding his house today of all days. Maybe this was coming down the pipe, but we're like the closest we've been to World War III in my life, certainly. So I'm 40. I think we're closer to where I was born during the Cold War. I was born in 83. I think we're closer to World War III than we were at any point in my life. And I don't think it's hyperbole to say that. So I also said at the beginning of the episode, we are so back. Twitter is we got the ability to talk freely on Twitter again. And the man, the myth, the legend himself, Alex Jones, is back on social media. Remember, they took him out. They completely canceled Alex Jones. They tried to ruin this man. So for that, I'm going to let him talk. And I am streaming on YouTube right now. I don't care if this gets my account nuked. I just don't care about YouTube. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, it's great. It's awesome. But if my account gets nuked, you're going to have to go over to Rumble to watch it. Oh, they put a community note on this. So, oh no, that's not a community note. This is just what Alex Jones wrote. Sorry, it's no community note. So, yeah, let's watch a quick InfoWars clip. They've been cutting clips and putting them on X. This is a whole new thing. This didn't happen before. So let's watch some Alex Jones really quick. Quick 5-minute clip.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. InfoWars.com/go.
Over 100 people were murdered in Russia on Friday, including women and children. 11 terrorists were captured by Russian authorities as they attempted to cross the border into Ukraine. They are being interrogated, and all roads lead to the U.S. State Department, who have been directing Ukrainian forces since their 2014 coup. The attack occurred on March 22nd, or 3/22. 3/22 is the mysterious number used by Yale's infamous Skull and Bones Society. The official...
We are so back, people. If you guys don't remember, back in the day on YouTube, like pre-2014 was the Wild West. And there's so many. Alex Jones is definitely over the top. I do not agree with everything he says. I don't think everything is a giant conspiracy, but he's sure been right about a lot of stuff. But this here, the Skull and Bones 3/22, they're trying to draw a correlation with that to the date of the attack. So I think it's funny. Could they be right? Sure, maybe. But yeah, it just seems so over the top to me. And that's why I actually like it. I like that stuff's over the top and funny and conspiracy-y. It's fun to me. Conspiracies are fun.
Story is that 322 symbolizes the year 322 BC to memorialize the event seen as the turning point which transformed Athens from a democracy to a plutocracy. A plutocracy is a society that is ruled by no other political philosophy other than the financial elite being in control of the people's destiny. The Skull and Bones is a grooming academy for the CIA, such as former director of the CIA, George Bush, and 322 is their calling card. During the Tucker Carlson interview, President Putin was clearly speaking to the CIA. The CIA responded in a New York Times article admitting that they are using Ukraine as a proxy to wage war against Russia. Weeks before the attack, Victoria Nuland repeatedly boasted that Putin was in for a nasty surprise.
Mr. Putin's going to get some nice surprises on the battlefield.
And that's true. I have another video queued up of her.
And that Ukraine will make some very strong success this year. This supplemental funding will ensure Putin faces some nasty surprises on the battlefield this year.
On March 7th, the U.S. Embassy issued a warning about the threat of terrorist attacks in Moscow, specifying concerts. The British Embassy in Moscow mirrored this warning.
So that is legit. The United States warned their embassy about attacks specifically on like concert halls and theaters.
Days before the attack, Barack Obama paid an unexpected visit to the British Prime Minister at 10 Downing Street.
I forgot about that. Everybody was kind of wondering what that was all about. I did forget about that.
President Obama, are you worried that Putin will rule forever? President Obama, why should we care about democracy in Russia? Will you speak to us? Come and have a chat with us for a minute.
How did it go? What did you talk about?
Within hours of the...
And remember, Obama is in an interview saying that he would love to stay president, but not be the face of the presidency, to sort of have a proxy stand in for him. And he's behind the scenes calling the shots. He said he would have liked that. Biden is a shell of a man.
The attack, and without any evidence, the U.S. government blames the attack on the Islamic State and says that Ukraine is not involved. The very next day, while Russians were grieving, CIA mouthpiece The Washington Post gloated how the U.S. had prior knowledge of the attack and people still died. It has been noted that the terrorists were either professional assassins or trained by Western forces, for they were demonstrating NATO training methods, such as shooting in small bursts, trigger control, and proper mag reloads.
Okay, that's just anybody that trains. That's anyone. I mean, come on. Yeah, what are you talking about? Anybody that trains can learn that stuff.
For anyone with eyes to see, this is the modus operandi of the West. Al-Qaeda was famously created by Western intelligence agencies to fight the Russians in Afghanistan, and has been cultivated by the U.S. government and used as a catalyst for illegal wars and tyrannical laws against U.S. citizens. Ukraine's spy chief said 3 months ago, expect more attacks deep inside of Russia.
I'm very glad to see this.
Yeah.
That's my reaction.
That's your reaction. You're happy to see it.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll be more?
I think so.
Inside Russia? Deep inside Russia?
Deeper and deeper.
I think this clip is deceptively edited. That clip right there.
Dmitry Medvedev said that everyone is asking him what to do. He answered that those who were caught need to be killed, but it's much more important to kill everyone involved, everyone who paid, who sympathized, and who helped. Kill them all. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
All right. I want to get the most out there take I could get. So that's why I started with Alex Jones. I think it's important to listen to what the most out there takes are, and you can dial it back from there. But this stuff shouldn't be silenced. This is the stuff that they want to say misinformation and disinformation. Okay, we can pick apart misinformation and disinformation ourselves. Why suppress this type of information from us? This is the stuff that they wanted to shut up Alex Jones from saying. And yeah, Alex Jones is a bit out there. Let's keep going here. This is that Victoria Nuland video of her talking about how there's going to be a disproportionate response.
With the $60 billion supplemental that the administration has requested of Congress, we can ensure that Ukraine not only survives, but she thrives. With this support, in 2024, we can help ensure Ukraine can continue to fight, to build, to recover, and to reform. With this money, Ukraine will be able to fight back in the East, but it will also be able to accelerate the asymmetric warfare that has been most effective on the
asymmetric warfare? What does that mean?
Battlefield. And as I said in Kyiv 3 weeks ago, this supplemental funding will ensure Putin faces some nasty surprises on the battlefield this year.
Disproportionate responses and nasty surprises. If we had anything to do with this, you guys, this is bad. This is very bad. First of all, what happened over there is horrific. Gunmen walking in and just mowing down innocent people. I don't care what country that happens in. It's horrific. It's horrible. That is not warfare. That is terrorism. It's disgusting. And I don't understand how Biden can't come out and make a big statement, a big speech. I mean, I understand because he's a decrepit old man, but the entire United States should be very outspoken about how they are condemning these acts, how this was horrible. We should have, moments of silence for Russia. Like, we should be very outspoken about how this was horrible. Instead, it was kind of like, yeah, we knew it was happening and we knew it was coming. It was ISIS. And there's like no sympathy from the United States. This was citizens that died. These weren't soldiers. This was a terrorist attack where hundreds of people were killed. Imagine if this happened in the United States. And I mean, it's hard to imagine the scenario, but we're at war with another country and a larger country is funding them. And all of a sudden there's a terrorist attack on like a football game where tons of people are mowed down and killed. And then that country who's funding the country we're at war with is like, we had nothing to do with it. And they don't say how horrible it is and say, at this moment we stand with Russia, all that kind of stuff. No, it's just, no, so we knew about it, but we didn't have anything to do with it. It was ISIS. I mean, we should be showing a ton of sympathy for Russian citizens right now. And there's people cheering for what happened. It seems like I don't like this stuff at all, you guys. We are very, very close. This isn't good. Let's go over to clandestine here. Putin says that radical Islamists carried out the attack, but we now want to know who ordered it. He claims that it was part of Kiev regime's attack on Russia. Given that Western intelligence have been the financiers of global Islamic terrorism for decades, suspect number one would be the CIA. No matter how you slice it, the U.S. are somewhat responsible for this attack, whether it was ISIS acting alone, Ukraine acting alone, one of the NATO allies, or the CIA themselves. All of them belong to the same entity. All of them answer to the same masters, all funded by the U.S. taxpayer, all tentacles of the same octopus. The Biden regime, which is really an extension of the Obama regime, by some layers of separation are responsible for the attack, and Putin knows it. It's not hyperbolic to say that we are currently closer to World War III than we have ever been. I 100% agree with Clandestine on this one. This is bad. This is really bad. And like during the Cuban Missile Crisis, people were building doomsday bunkers. People were terrified. And we're walking around like everything's fine. Like nothing's happening. It's so bizarre. And our government seems to want World War III. This is bad, you guys. This is really bad. All right, I'll play a 30-second video of Putin talking, and they are translating it over him talking. So it's actually kind of hard to hear the translation. Oops. All right. Play the actual video here.
США по разным каналам пытаются убедить своих сателлитов.
Okay, so it's not translating over the top of it. It's got subtitles. So those of you that are watching or just listening only, using various channels, the USA is trying to convince its satellites
И другие страны
and other countries that, according to their intelligence,
мира в том, что по их разведданным Киев
there's no Kiev traces in the Moscow terror attack.
следа в московском теракте якобы нет. Что кровавый теракт совершили
That the bloody attack was carried out by Islam followers,
последователи ислама, члены запрещенной в России
members of ISIS, an organization banned in Russia.
организации ИГИЛ. Мы знаем,
We know by whose hands this crime against Russia and its people was committed. That's a terrifying statement. We know by whose hands this crime against Russia and its people was committed. Okay.
чьими руками было совершено это злодеяние против России и ее народа. Нас интересует,
We want to know who ordered it.
кто заказчик.
This is very dangerous, folks. Very dangerous. ISIS has been inactive for like 10 years, and we were using ISIS. We were funding ISIS to fight and try and overthrow Bashar al-Assad in Syria, and Russia came to the aid of Bashar al-Assad. And we were essentially fighting a proxy war with Russia back then in Syria. And then ISIS doesn't do anything for like 10 years, and all of a sudden, poof, they come out of nowhere. I'm not buying it, you guys. I am not buying it. This is not good. All right, let's listen to what I don't know who this guy is. With U.S. Congress now paralyzed by pro-Russian interests, military brass warns that the new coalition of Russia, Iran, and North Korea is set to expand into world war. All of this could be prevented by merely giving Ukraine what they asked for. What? This sounds like more warmongering to me from us. But let's see what this gentleman has to say here.
I've described the security environment as the most dangerous I've seen in 40 years in uniform. And a big portion of that are the cooperation, number one, between the PRC and Russia. Again, in President Xi's words, a relationship.
Sunshine Daydream, Ganko 1, nice to see you guys.
That has not been seen in 100 years. And we should listen to him when he speaks. They tell us what they're thinking about. So that cooperation from those two authoritarian nations puts us in a different security environment. So I'm very concerned about that. It's amplified with regard to the DPRK supporting Russian in the form of ballistic missiles and other munitions and capabilities. My sense is this is a way to combat the broadened United States alliances, partnerships with our like-minded allies and partners. This is their counter. But I articulated, we're almost back to the axis of evil when you plug in Iran to this.
The axis of evil was a propaganda term. That was all to play on our emotions after 9/11. This is not post 9/11. This is post Patriot Act, post January 6th, post COVID lies, post the Twitter files coming out, learning about intelligence agencies colluding. The American people are so much more knowledgeable of what's been going on the last 20, 25 years now. They cannot pull the wool over people's eyes like they used to, especially with how we can now share information and talk freely. This is propaganda.
Problem set. That set of cooperation is concerning, and it should be concerning to the whole globe. I've described it.
Well, I'll agree with them there. Yeah, the U.S. and its allies are marching us ever closer to World War III. This is a video of the terrorists they caught, the guys that actually carried out the shootings. So we'll watch a few of these. They messed these dudes up like big time. They got them sitting in these glass boxes. That dude is jacked up. They're questioning him, and they got him sitting in a glass box. What I don't get is how they thought how did they have an escape plan? How did they have this planned out? So this is the only tiny bit of legitimacy I will give to the claim that Russia could have done this as their own false flag. The only legitimacy that I will give it is how the hell did they think they were going to escape? Like, you're in the middle of Moscow and you knew they were going to catch you. Like, you didn't commit suicide. It wasn't a suicide attack. You were clearly trying to escape. It didn't seem like a very well thought out plan. Are these guys just morons? Like, that's the only reason what were they thinking? But no, I do not think this was a false flag put on by Putin. No, I don't think that at all. All right, so that's that dude. Just a picture of all four of them. This is the guy that they cut off his ear and made him eat it. They cut off his ear and fed it to him. Apparently, that's the rumor.
Ниже.
Guy's all swollen too. So he's got a broken jaw. Oh, this guy's super jacked up. They got to cart him in on a gurney. They went over that crack so hard. They did not give a crap about this dude. This guy looks like he's barely alive.
Yes.
All right, those are allegedly the four gunmen. That's what they're saying. That's the four gunmen. Keep going here. We'll go over to Concerned Citizen here on the X platform. And he says, reports Russia are currently moving significant amount of military hardware across the country, traveling west. Is the war against Ukraine accelerating, or is this in preparation for direct conflict with NATO? And remember, Finland joined NATO, and that's a big stretch of land right up against Russia's border. So it's things are escalating, people, quite a bit. So this is just, it's the internet. This video could be from anywhere, but it shows a lot of military vehicles traveling on the highway.
Oh, nasty.
I guess smart people would be able to tell if these are actually Russian military vehicles and Russian license plates and that kind of thing. There's a website listed here. HTTPS t.me/BTV 2019. 2019. This is an old video. This might be an old video, guys. All right, that could be sharing propaganda with you guys. That video could be from any time, so we'll keep going here. Let's go to what could be more what they would call propaganda, but I don't think so. I like Alex Jones. We're going to watch more Alex Jones. So he says, nuclear war is the greatest threat facing humanity because pussy politicians want to pick a fight. Russia is not my enemy. All right, I already watched this video and it's funny. So it's funny and terrifying at the same time. It's funny because Alex Jones is just funny when he gets all worked up and starts cursing and stuff, but it's terrifying, the stuff that he's saying, and he is right with us being closer to World War III than we've ever been. So let's watch this video from Alex Jones really quick.
I am a pro-human individual, and I don't want to start fights with anybody. And the very same globalists destroying my country are trying to go to nuclear war with Russia. That is insane. You know, I look at actuaries, I look at numbers. I'm a numbers guy. Until you're 50, I'm 50 now, the number one cause of death is automobile accidents. And I tell my wife, I tell the nanny, I've got 4 kids, 3 of them are grown up out of the house, but I got a 6-year-old. I say, you drive my daughter the minimum amount of where she needs to go, not a bunch of errands, not a bunch of, because the car is the most dangerous thing. And when you're 50, it comes heart attacks and cancer. Well, now I've looked at the numbers. The number one threat facing us is nuclear war with Russia. That's what threatens my family. Russia's full of resources, ready to do business with us. Like Ron Paul said a decade ago. What the hell are we doing? This is bull fucking shit. And I hold the people responsible that are doing this, and they have done nothing but harass my family and terrorize me. And that hasn't made me be afraid. It's made me decide to go to war. We're taking our country back, and all this BS is going to stop. And we're going to go to space. God damn it. We're going to do big things instead of have a bunch of jerks that think war's tough. And I look at the neocons and the Democrats and the Republican leadership. They couldn't find their ass with both hands. They couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag because they'd never been in a fight. And that's why they want to fight. Because
my friend thinks he's on drugs because of what he's doing with his jaw.
they're pussies. And they brought in the sleeper cells, and they're getting ready to torch this country. They think we're so dumb, we don't know they're on ISIS, and they just hit the Russians. And now they're all over the news. The Russians, oh, they're going to get us. Meanwhile, ISIS is back. They're going to kill you. I am pissed because we've never been in more danger. The number one threat to my children is nuclear war, and Russia isn't starting it. Criminals that hate America, CNN, ABC News, Hollywood, all they do is tell you how bad our families are, how bad our children are, how bad Christians are. It's not the Russians. If the Russians did any of this, I'd be their enemy. But they're not.
He's not wrong there. I mean, he's very loud and outspoken. It's definitely a rant, but I mean, no lies detected. You know, we are being heavily propagandized all day long by all these corporate press outlets. And they are just, since Trump's been in office, Russia, there's no reason why Russia shouldn't be our ally. We shouldn't be having trade with Russia. There's no reason. And they've demonized Russia. They've villainized them as a country. And a lot of people say they never would have invaded Ukraine if Trump was still in office. Like, that wouldn't have happened. I won't speculate one way or the other, but I mean, they didn't do it when Trump was in office. When Obama was in office, there was a lot of conflict in that region. And then it all stopped for 4 years, even though they said Russia the whole time. Frustrating. Very frustrating. All right, we'll go over to Armchair Warlord here. He says, The Russians hit Kiev with hypersonics again today, destroying according to reports. So yeah, they're hitting Kiev now. It's escalating for sure. Destroying, according to reports, the SBU, associated bunker with Patriot launchers, and at some airport that I can't pronounce the name of. What's noteworthy is they used surface-fired Zircon scramjet cruise missiles to do it, a new type of hypersonic weapon. Kinzhal is a fairly simple weapon based on technology that is well understood in the West, even if we lack the ability to currently replicate it due to the ongoing competency crisis. This is new technology that Western establishments have never been able to make functional outside of a purely experimental regimen. And even with great difficulty, the Russians are firing these missiles operationally. Ukraine propagandists are passing around pictures allegedly of a Zircon engine section to claim that it was shot down, which shouldn't be taken seriously. Scramjet engines are basically solid blocks of metal, and it would make sense that a missile targeted an on-air defense battery would be fused to airburst, thus leaving the engine relatively intact. AD sirens only went off in Kiev following the arrivals, and I've seen zero reports that AD batteries are alerted or attempted to engage. This is just a picture of a blown up building. So yeah, there's reports that they're hitting Kiev. Let's keep going here. All right, head over to this is Roz Alerts. And Roz Alerts is just confirming, saying a missile attack is underway as an air raid siren has alerted. An air raid alert has been declared for most of Ukraine. An air raid alert is also effective for Kiev. And that was from earlier today. So the Russians do appear to be going a little harder on Ukraine, and they're still trying to figure out who's responsible for all this stuff. Alaska's not that far away from Russia, guys. This California, I mean, really isn't that far away from Russia. It's not good, you guys. So Russia is not America at all. So this is a report. I don't know, not a report, but this is a video out of Russia this is from Megatron over here on X. It says a carload of foreigners in Astrakhan. Is that how you say it? Astrakhan, Russia. I'm butchering that. I'm sorry. Were playing loud music when a policeman reminded them that Russia is of mourning the victims of the Crocus terror attack. The foreigners answered, "You are mourning, we are celebrating." A few moments later, they found out. So that's what he's alleging. He's saying these guys were playing loud music, and they said, "We don't care, we're celebrating." And this is what happened to him. They beat the piss out of him. Now, I don't necessarily support police doing this, but, you know, if it happened in America, I would support regular old Americans beating the crap out of people that are disrespecting people that just got murdered in a terrorist attack. Things are going to get medieval, folks. People are going to start abandoning their principles. Yeah, they took them away. So this is not America. You do not have freedom of speech in Russia. They do not play. They do not play around. Okay. Crazy times, folks. Crazy times. All right. That is about all I got for this evening. Crazy times, folks. Checking the chat here. All right. Eric, limited nuclear exchange. Oh, wonderful. That's optimistic. From Moscow, Belarus is nearly the same direction as Ukraine. Oh, you're saying how they would have escaped. Sunshine Daydream. Agree. U.S. kept Russia out of NATO. Yeah. We should get out of NATO. Ganko 1. Isn't he missing an eyeball? I don't know. Gurning, the jaw thing. We used to call it gurning. Gurning went on ecstasy. Oh, okay. The Alex Jones. Yeah, my buddy was saying he's on drugs. Gurning. Huh. Okay. Never heard that. Okay. No freedom of speech in Canada either. I mean, up until Elon bought X, there's really no freedom of speech in America either. Okay. GN, you saying good night? All right. Good night, Ganko One. Yep. That is about all I got for the evening. Anyway, folks. Yep. Didn't mean to end on too much of a somber note, but it's scary times. Scary times, folks. So, yeah, I don't. Plant a garden, grow food, have a backup plan, be stocked up on ammo. That's all I can recommend. Get out of cities. I wouldn't want to be in a city right now. That's all I can really say there, folks. But yeah, that is all I got for tonight. I might take tomorrow off. Unless something crazy happens tomorrow, I'm probably going to take tomorrow off. Unless there's something big that happens that I just need to talk about. I'm not going to do a stream tomorrow, most likely. I got stuff. My career starts back up on Monday, you guys. So I got a lot of stuff to sort of get squared away before that. And yeah, I'm probably going to take tomorrow off if unless something crazy happens. In all reality, I'll probably end up doing a stream just because I'm sort of addicted to streaming now. I like it. I like you guys. I like talking to you guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. It's always fun to hang with you guys. And let's see, Eric, Wally World, Legally RJ, Cameron, V1800, Jed Plus Plus, Ganko One. Thank all you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Let's see, Sunshine Daydream. Better know what's going on. Stuck up on rice. Yeah, rice is always good. And beans. Rice and beans. Got to get some protein in there. Yep, rice and beans is a good way to go. Get some chickens. I want to get chickens. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. That is all I got for tonight. But you know how we do it. Before we get out of here, we got to tell a joke from the greatest book ever written. The Truth about Chuck Norris. Let's see what we have tonight. Okay, I've read that one before. Okay. All right, this one's actually kind of funny, so I'm going to read this one. All right, guys. I might see you again tomorrow night, but I will for sure be back on Wednesday. All right. Here is the Chuck Norris joke of the evening. Chuck Norris is the only Olympic diver to ever get a gold medal after performing a 1.5 somersault with 5 twists after jumping off of his own boner. And on that note, stay CaliBased.